Hey guys, Nikki here. So I couldn't figure out how else to do this video or this week, so I ended up facing my fear of making a PowerPoint. My son helped me show me how to do it, so here goes my first one. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so this is going to be over Leaves 6 types of love, and the first type we're going to talk about is Eros. And Eros is a love of beauty and the physical. This is a very strong love. It's passionate. It's sexual. It's based off of a strong physical desire that's based on beauty and outward appearances. It's an obsession, kind of overwhelming, can't think, can't sleep kind of thing. However, it doesn't last. You can't build a strong relationship on this type of love. And what I chose to represent this type of love is the Titanic movie with Jack and Rose. And in this movie, when Jack and Rose first meet each other, it is love at first sight. It's passionate. It's really quick moving. And they just fall head over heels for each other. The next type of love that we're going to talk about is Ludus, which is a playful love. It's flirtatious. It's fun. It's a non-committed type of love. Think of a summer romance or a fling, something that has no strings attached. It's uncomplicated, very uncomplicated, and just all about having fun and enjoying the moment. And the movie that I picked to describe this love was really showing my age. It's called Pillow Talk. It was released in the 50s, and it was one of my favorite movies growing up. Yeah, I was very sheltered. Anyway, in this movie, it has Doris Day and Rock Hudson, which were like huge stars back then. And Rock Hudson, his name was Brad in this movie. He was a ladies' man, and he had like 30 women on standby all the time. He would flirt ridiculously and tell them anything they wanted to hear just to basically get them in bed and then be done with them. It was pretty bad, actually, for the 50s. But then he meets Jan and everything slowly changes. But the next type of love is mania, or an obsessive love. And this type of love is very intense. It's jealous, it's controlling, it's very, very unhealthy. And it has a fear of abandonment and will do literally anything to prevent separation. And even though I actually never saw the movies, my husband was a huge Batman fan, and I know all about the characters, and this is all I could think of whenever I thought of this obsessive love was Harley Quinn and how obsessed she was with the Joker. She made very bad decisions and choices repeatedly because of her obsession, and that's something that is very common with this type of love. The next one is Storge, which is a very compassionate love. Storge love is much deeper than some of the other loves we had talked about. It's a friendship that withstands storms of life. It's the same type of love a parent has for their child. It's unconditional. It doesn't matter if that child messes up, what they do, this love doesn't fade. And even if it's one-sided, so even if that child, leaves home and doesn't, disowns their parents, that love doesn't change. And we just got done watching this series, How to Train Your Dragon, and this was just really stood out to me as the type of love that Hiccup has with Toothless. It doesn't have to be a romantic type of love, and he finds Toothless hurt when he was a young boy, and just the bond that they have together, even through several of the movies where they had to separate for different reasons, it never changed that love that Hiccup had for Toothless, or really the love that Toothless had for Hiccup either. The next type of love is called pragma, and it's a very practical love. This practical love can be described as something that makes sense for both parties. It's very logical, and it's a love that you have to work to make last, even through the hard times. It's a love that doesn't give up easily. But it's also a love that if they're not right together, like it's very practical in thinking. So, if logically it doesn't make sense for them to stay together, then they won't. And this type of love reminded me, once again, showing my age, of Anna Green Gables. In Anna Green Gables, Anne was very practical. She was I say very practical. She was also very emotional, but that's besides the point. Her and Gil, they had feelings for each other, but she had goals. She had things that she wanted to do, and she had boxes that needed checked. And sometimes Gilbert didn't check those boxes. So she was very practical, very much. It didn't make sense, or it did make sense. It had to fit in the box for it to work. In the end, they do end up happily ever after, and it was a beautiful love. And that's another thing with this practical love. You see these people who are 70 years old still madly in love with each other in a different way, if that makes sense. Like, they still want to hold hands, and they do love each other deeply, but it's different than it was when it was that fiery passion. It's deeper, and that's what type of love this is. The next one is an agape love. And this is an altruistic love, which I had to look that word up because I didn't know what that meant. And it basically means, this is the definition, is showing a selfless concern for the well-being of others without care for one's own interests. And that's what this love is. It's a selfless love, one that cares about the well-being of others more than itself. And this is the type of love that God has for us as humans. The movie I chose is called The Passion of Christ. And it's about the love that Jesus has for us, his people, the people that he left heaven for. He was in splendor and perfection with God, and he left it all, came down to earth to live a pretty terrible life. He was poor, he was ridiculed, he was beaten, and then crucified on a cross. And he chose that for us. He gave of himself for us. And this is a type of love that you don't see all the time in life. There are times and there are people who have this love, but it's very rare. So that ends my slideshow. I hope you liked it. Like I said, it's my first one, but it was fun. So thanks for watching.